Hello Goobers! Welcome to the brand new week, brand new month and everything, and well, brand new chapter of Tiny Bunny as well. So I hope you'll be enjoying yourself today, as I do believe it's pretty exciting of a chapter for sure. I hope you had a nice weekend. I had to think if I had streamed during the weekend, and yes, I had. You see, I don't remember anymore, but hey, well, now you know, I've been there. Good news is that I do have clips from that stream. So the clips in general work, it's just they don't work with classical music apparently, and well, in case of Tiny Bunny, I'm pretty sure it's because like the game's pretty drastic, they're just like blocking that. Just in case something very, you know, because you know how shorts are, they appear out of nowhere, and you know, you have no way to defend yourself. Also, I forgot to light up my face, so the bottle won't go crazy. It will go crazy anyways, probably, but whatever. I hope you had a nice weekend nevertheless. I had a very busy day today. I woke up the very morning because in one of the stores there have been extremely cheap Pokemon cards, so I went there. I got 2 cool cards, so cannot complain about that. Then I had to clean up my apartment because it's the beginning of the month. You gotta do it at least once a month, you know? At least that's how I work. With my apartment at least. And what else did I do? I went to the store to buy advent calendars because they were like a sale on them. Unfortunately, there were no cool ones, so I got ones with like chocolates and one with tea because I thought, why not, if it's so cheap? Like, I already came all the way here. Might as well buy some. And then yeah, I was sitting and drawing a little bit, you know, doing things. Make stream till 9 AM. It was a nice yeah, 9 AM, of course, yeah, that definitely happened. Good news is that I managed to make a video on Sunday, so there will be a video on Wednesday. Yay, we're on the video. Hi, I'll try to make one for next week as well, although I'm not at home, so there's a chance that I won't be able to do that. It depends on how much work will I get done in like those 3 days. Probably I won't be able to do video on time for the next week, but we'll see though, because I'll have time to work on my iPad, I guess, so I will be able to do some commissions from there. Whatever. Right now we're playing the game. I'm very much excited to continue it. So let's go, shall we? Last time, if you do not remember, I need to remember as well. Last time we go crazy cuckoo with furries and thinking it's all good, but well, not everything is good, as apparently our very so nice classmate, the beachy one who looks a little bit like Elsa, disappeared this time. She's the one who disappeared. So where could she go? We definitely decided to stay with our bros, to, you know, to bros before hosts, just in case, you know, to not make any accidental issues between the group, between the gang. We gave policemen a face of a man that was quite suspicious in chapter number 2. We won after trying 3 times a camera in rock, paper, scissors. And was there something else? It was more or less this, right? Yeah. So now we're going to chapter number 4. The last that I've played on my own. And then next week we'll be able to finally finish the game. So I'm very excited. Okay. This was this save. Yeah. Stomp Your Hooves in Wait, episode 4. I'm very excited. Biasha joined us at the table, gnawing anxiously on his lower lip. Yesterday we had like fun with our furry friends. I replied with a complete lie.
Нет.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen shit.
Я тоже. Повезло, что классуха моим родакам нажаловалась из-за оценок. Вот меня и не выпустили вечером на репетицию. А то на месте Катьки оказались бы мы.
Damn. Biasha scratched at his Adam's apple.
Я что сказать хотел-то?
Okay, Biasha got some tea.
Этим утром я, как обычно, в школу шел. Вдруг слышу плач за деревьями. Девчачий. Сечетина. Ну, я про Катьку-то не знал тогда. Да и знал бы, стрёмно оно, братки. Утро у нас не лучше ночи. Темно, как в злобе.
It's surprising that they still had to go to school considering it's Katya missing and Katya's mom is the classroom's homeroom teacher.
Вдруг это Катька была, а? А главное, вместе таком паршивом в буреломе, что неподалеку от кладбища.
Хорош пургу гнать.
Да зуб даю на! Сам слышал!
А вы уверены, что Катя действительно пропала?
Вон, Лилия Павловна, Катькина матушка, даже на работу не пришла.
Okay, so who is leading the class then?
Слетела контрольная она! Как пить дать, пацаны, это Катька в тайге стонала! А значит, и до неё маньячела добрался!
I remembered Katya. She was both beautiful and mean. The first girl in our class with a maturing body to the envy of all the other girls. I don't... Okay, whatever. The main source of gossip, a snake and a bitch. I love how he describes Katya in comparison to how he describes Alisa or Polina, you know? He's like, yeah, no, that one's a bitch. Biasha started counting with his fingers.
Сенечка, Вова, Семён, Катя. 4 человека, да.
Roma slammed his hands on the desk.
Так, пацаны, отныне смотреть в оба.
She's just not his type. He's not into blondes. He likes them red, like, you know, ginger, like a fox. He likes them black haired, but blonde hair, or rather bright hair, because I'm pretty sure she's blonde hair. Nah-ah! Nah-ah! That ain't my type, and I can respect the guy, because I personally prefer darker hair as well. There are some, you know, some moments or certain characters that I like that are blonde, but, you know, most of the time, yeah. Ain't my type, okay?
Далеко друг от друга не отходим, как в дурацких ужастиках.
Hi, Cincy, hello!
На остальных мне плевать, но вас я в обиду не дам.
That's kind of cute. Like, you know, but I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna protect you. We're a team. We're Voltron.
Как и Полинку.
And Polina. Okay. I hope your relationship works out. Ah, I had already forgotten that I was ever into Polina. Wait, what? I don't remember that part. I guess, you know, a serial killer murdering children on loose makes you feel like, hey, maybe romance is not the most important part of my life. Either wide or just dark ones. The only girl occupying my thoughts after last night was Alisa. Okay, well, we went the Fury route, so I should have seen that coming. But I will still play, I mean, not on stream probably, but maybe I'll make a video on how the other route went. The boys went to the cafeteria and I was left alone, scribbling in my notebook, drawing rows of pints and 2 small figures, flying between the treetops and the full moon. Shivers ran up to my shoulders, sneaking playfully under the hem of my shirt. Even though soaring through the sky felt so simple, there was still something evil weighing me down. Was the stolen signet ring or the heavy look those missing kids from the notice board were giving me? The culprit was definitely still in the village. They were hiding something horrible under the mask of piousness. Embarrassed, I covered the notebook as if there was something shameful about the figures above the forest.
Да ничего, так, дурака валяю.
Paulina put her elbows on the desk. She's still trying to win us, guys. She's still trying to win us over, but we went full furry route. Paulina, you need to respect that. You ain't a furry, we're not interested. But I would not be surprised that they are somehow connected, Alisa and Paulina. I had already forgotten how light and graceful she was, just like a violin. I wish she could also jump around with us after stripping away her mask of fake mundanity. I smiled, imagining Paulina's skirt flap. I hope that you're imagining skirt and not what's under it, Anton. I swear to God, I sure hope. Skirt flapping in the wind, the stars sparkling all around us, her asking in bewilderment whether it is all a dream. And myself telling her that it doesn't matter. Paulina's expression grew dark again.
Уже слышал про Катю?
No, I have not noticed that poster hanging right in the middle of the blackboard, girl. Yes, I've heard about Katya!
Ужасно.
Да. Ужасно еще и то, что Катю мне жалеть сложно. Я правда ищу в себе сострадание, но вспоминаю ее поступки и...
Nah, if she was a bitch, like, how can you muster up any empathy whatsoever? Paulina shook her head.
Я чудовище, да?
No, I thought, you're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever met. But alas, you're only number 2 on that list! Damn! Anton! At first he was, oh my god, Paulina or Alisa or Paulina. Chapter 4, he's like, well, girl, you're actually number 2 in my heart, so don't even try. Girl, you're either the next victim or helping the serial killer. Yeah, she is very suspicious. Paulina, I know you don't know that through watching my streams, but playing her route, because like, this is how people who play the game put the routes. Either you go the route with Alisa or the route with Paulina. Paulina is kind of messed in the head as well. Like, you don't see it if you don't play her route, but first of all, her grandpa is scary as fuck and kind of cursed. And second of all, like, she is really acting like very suspicious. Like, she's all kind girl, but then she starts yelling at you and throwing a tantrum, and you don't really know what's going on with her. So she's freaky. She is freaky. I decided not to say that out loud. Well, good for you.
Наверное, что исчезновение анкеты расстроило меня больше, чем пропажа одноклассницы.
My nostrils picked up the smell of candy tree resin and fireworks.
Ты потеряла анкету?
Да, и кто-то сейчас читает чужие секреты.
Yes, the forest, I thought, imagining the crooked branches turning notebook pages, touching the childish handwriting with their icy twigs.
Надеюсь, ее найдут.
I was unsure whether she spoke about Katya or her notebook. I wanted to ask her about it, but then I noticed Paulina's intense stare directed at me.
Что?
Ты будто изменился.
I smoothed my hair flat, surprised.
Просто не выспался.
Сегодня ты точно какая-то другая мелодия. Очень древняя, таинственная.
I thought about the flute's melody streaming between the bushy treetops.
Надеюсь, ты никому не рассказал про наш вчерашний разговор?
Что ты?
She nodded, as if acknowledging that she can fully trust me. I was unsure whether I merited such trust.
А может, погуляем после уроков? Дедушка чувствует себя лучше. Я могу задержаться вечером.
Her hair cascaded down around her shoulders. The smell was so wonderful that it sent me flying toward the glowing stars of my inner cosmos without any magic.
Почему бы и нет? Давай.
Тогда после алгебры на заднем дворе.
She leaned forward and looked at me with her piercing eyes again, then mumbled as if guessing.
Что-то из мусорского? Нет, пожалуй.
Then she left, and Romka appeared in the doorway in her place. He plopped on the seat next to me and started whispering in my ear.
Ты с ней говорил?
Yasha walked towards us, but Roma stopped him with an angry glare.
Бяш, отвали на пару минут.
Damn, poor Vyasha. Vyasha curled his lips in frustration and disappeared from the classroom. Roma returned his attention to me.
Ну, говорил или нет? Она что-то сказала про меня?
Well, Roma, I don't think you interest her. You sound like the rap under old block. I don't think that's her type. I could barely stop myself from flashing a sad, desperate smile. Ronka, the leader of Team Voltron, was in love. Madly in love. His gaze boiled with hope, please, worries. He looked like a pure, naive boy that shielded himself from the world with sports, delinquency, and coldness. Could I really betray him in this moment of weakness? Could I make the right choice in a situation where nothing is right? I fake coughed before speaking.
Она спрашивала, где ты будешь после уроков.
Dude's like not smooth at all. His face in the next moment was worth the effort of telling this lie. Ромка was beaming with happiness.
А ты что?
Сказал, что ты будешь на заднем дворе.
Romka licked his lips in excitement. He grabbed my wrist so hard I thought it would break.
Ну, Тоха! Ну, спасибо, друг!
He doesn't know I'm lying though.
Погнали скорее готовиться! Ща мы закатим такую шоу-программу, что прям ого-го!
He left the classroom to join the Grouchy Biasha, and I was left alone to stare blankly at Polina's empty seat. I just traded one friendship for another. Let's just hope I made the right choice. Let him dream? Yeah, it's going to not end that well. I don't remember exactly how the scene goes, but the bell's echo wandered aimlessly in school's darkest corners. But trust me, this route is worth it. You will see today, you will see today. I flew into the yard with my coat still half-zipped. The weather forecast didn't lie about the coming blizzard. A leaden cloud was coming at us from the north. A mighty roar bubbled inside of it. The other kids stood with their back to the wind and laughed when the gusts pushed them around the skating rink. The blizzard carried the laughter into the violet unknown. Romka rushed my way as soon as he noticed me in this tiny school backyard that was usually empty.
Готов? Точно не сдрейфишь? Второго шанса не будет.
I wasn't ready at all. My stomach stung. It wanted me to get out of here, to bail out from this stupid idea that was destined to fail from the very beginning. But I couldn't abandon Romka halfway through purely on principle. He, in the meantime, was hurriedly counting our inventory with his ink-stained fingers.
Букет есть. Маньяк?
Alright, he has a bouquet. It's better than last time.
Чё там еще?
А что с моим образом? Где мой топор или там...
Dude, he wanted to jump at Polina with axe. Anton! I know you turned into your, like, furry sauna, but Jesus, chill! He wanted to cosplay the Huntress from, DBD games, you know.
Маска.
Да не гони, Тоха! Надень ту зайчью, что с собой по жизни таскаешь. Только резче! Нельзя, чтобы Полина...
I love how Romka is like, just wear the mask that you always carry, as if like he thinks that we always carry it. It just appears out of nowhere, bro. I don't know if I have it on me right now. I looked at Romka with distrust, but my fingers already found the slider on the backpack's zipper and tugged at it in anticipation. This part is called a slider? I never knew. Instead of getting surprised, I felt relief when I took out my real face. Oh, never mind, we're carrying it around apparently. And there are no maggots, thank goodness. With it came calmness. The pain in my stomach subsided. I instantly remembered the feeling of flight, weightlessness, and joy. Romka's problems seemed so yawn-inducing and insignificant now.
Давай, как репетировали. Только она появится.
Я прегражу ей дорогу.
Ага. А я из-за тех кустов такой бац! И на выручку. Только веди себя посмелее, Тошек. Чтоб как взаправду.
Я постараюсь себя не сдерживать.
The simple piece of cardboard and fur carried enough energy to compete with the Blizzard's fury. I'm sorry, I'm just like so against Blizzard as a company that I barely can muster up this word, that's why. The tongue slip. Definitely, yes. Please believe me. I put my real face on top of my glasses, gleeful. I fixed it so my eyes would look right through the slits. Ronka disappeared. In his stead, Polina walked out from around the corner, looking around warily. Ayo, IL! Hello, you came right into the action! Live camera action, to be more exactly. She had her trusty violin case with her. Fresh snow squeaked under her boots. Clouds devoured the sun, and the coming darkness turned me into a long-eared silhouette. After looking at me with suspicion, Polina started circling around the yard. She didn't recognize me. He's so proud of himself. I stepped in front of Polina, not at all worried that my hide or my clothes could give away my identity. She frowned and stepped back towards the bushes. Why are you gonna scream in little? Romka immediately appeared out of them, swearing. He moved sideways in an awkward manner like a crab while still hiding his hand that was holding the flowers behind his back.
Эй, садист, проклятый!
I'm not sure if Romka knows what sadist means.
Пока я здесь, никто не обидит эту
Because of the action? Oh,
девушку.
okay.
Понял? Ты!
I couldn't help but cringe and roll my eyes under the mask. Romka's voice sounded fake and totally idiotic. He was way more believable during our rehearsal. I paid it no mind and brazenly grabbed Polina by the collar, pulling her closer. My fingers ran across her silky bangs. Polina let out an angry shriek, but that only made me smirk. I was overflowing with permissiveness and impunity. I intended to push Polina to the ground and grope her so hard I'd leave bruises. Jesus Christ! I didn't remember him being so bad! He wanted to grope her! Until the bubbling Romka acquires proper acting skills.
Говорю, не тронь!
I didn't listen and just kept on going, drunk on my power, on Romka's confusion that stopped him from doing anything but mumbling silently to himself. And I could do anything under the guise of the bunny. Wow there, buddy! Yeah, like, we lost him. He's a good actor, by the way, like, I gotta give it to him. Romka's eyes widened in surprise. I could tell he tried to keep his cool and stay true to his role for a moment. But before this amateur superhero could do anything, Polina intervened.
Так, что тут происходит?
Look at her! She's actually a true Sigma.
Пятифан, ты уберешь своего дружка?
Polina does not need a man to defend herself. Polina swung her case and hit me so hard I immediately sobered up.
Я же... Он мне...
Думаете, я вчера на свет появилась?
You go, girl! Slay!
Бяша, небось? Или...
She looked at me as if her eyes could pierce the cardboard mask. Even under the dim light around us, I could see her indignant face redden.
Антон? Вот не думала, что ты такой.
I started mumbling, looking for an excuse in vain hopes that Romka would be the first to explain everything. But that failure of an actor just started at the snow pile, his face red as a beet from embarrassment. Planning such a big show and screwing up even bigger. Polina watched us with her fists clutched before she suddenly shouted.
Клоуны!
Well, deserved. Well deserved. Her loud verdict still ricocheted off the school walls like a trapped dove. When Polina broke into a run on the snow-covered asphalt, her shadow waved like the hem of a dress and disappeared around the corner. Romka hanged his head in shame. A battered bouquet plopped down in the grey muddle of wet snow.
Это фиаско, братан.
Hey! Don't put me into this, Romka! You were the one who screwed up! We were playing pretty well. If he just acted a little bit earlier, it would work out a little bit better. I mean, she would still not be interested in him, to be fair, but, you know. I took off the mask from my sweaty face. The wind cooled my skin. It felt like, along with the mask, I took off a layer of intrusive thoughts and emotions. Romka screeched with his teeth, staring down at his feet. Lost and depressed. He couldn't counter fate's punches unlike me. I knew how terrible he felt. He was ready to crush everything around him or bang his head against the concrete. He was ready to do anything but ask Polina to come back. He was strong and brave, but his fear of showing any weakness impeded him greatly. What a psychoanalysis on your friend, Anton. Damn. A possible resolution flashed my mind. I placed my hands on Romka's shoulder. We're going to save his dignity. I sprinted across the schoolyard trying to catch up to Polina. An echo followed my footsteps. The girl's violin case swayed like a tail of an annoyed cat.
Полин!
She slowed down but didn't turn around.
Ну, Полин!
I could finally see her pretty profile.
Чего?
I caught up to her and carefully grabbed her by the elbow. She didn't yank it away. It was a good sign.
Ты все неправильно поняла.
Polina brushed a lock of her hair off her face. I thought that she probably stole that move from one of the Sharon Stone movies. Her voice was still strict.
Что тут понимать-то?
Well, yeah, what is there to misunderstand? Well, quite a lot.
Ромка спланировал геройский поступок. В кавычках, конечно.
Okay, well, she understood it pretty well then. Never mind.
Вызвался быть шутом, от которого он меня защитит. Еще и маску где-то нашел. Гадкую такую.
Hey, our furry mask! We worked so hard on acquiring it, girl! I wanted to shout, it's not ugly at all, but said something completely different instead.
А вот и не поняла. Ты Ромке очень нравишься.
Curiosity flashed in her eyes. I wanted to hug Polina, steal her, and lead her into the forest. I wanted to introduce her to my new friends. I don't think it's a good idea, Anton. I'm pretty sure she may be one of the next... I don't think she will be, because, like, that one of her roots is her root, but, you know... I think, like, bringing any kid to those creatures in general is a bad idea, but what do I know? What do I know? I wanted the flute to sing. Polina would have surely liked its melody. I wanted us to jump high in the sky above the clouds. There, under the stars that are pinned to this night sky, I would tell Polina how much I needed her. That she's like water and I'm dying from thirst. Bro, chill.
Я думала, я тебе нравлюсь.
Also, didn't you just say, or rather thought, that she's number 2 in your heart? So, you know what? Like, trying to get 2 girls at the same time, not a good idea. We're not living in a harem fantasy. I played dumb.
Не?
Polina fought out of my clutches, annoyed.
Все ясно.
Да постой же, нравишься. Ты всем нравишься. Но Ромка, он особенный.
Особенный лжец.
Он целеустремленный и на самом деле серьезнее, чем кажется.
He's way more serious than he looks. Well, that's
Слава
true.
Боге, с ним бы ты точно сбежала. В какой-нибудь большой сверкающий город.
I'm pretty sure you won't be able because, like, the kid is already swinging a knife left and right. It's just a matter of time until he ends up in jail, to be fair.
Да куда угодно. Он обещал защищать тебя.
Polina stared into the darkness outside the school's boundaries. There was only the wind and the swirling snow.
И что теперь прикажешь? От его обещаний детей рожать?
Damn, Polina!
Для начала узнать поближе. Дать ему шутки шутками.
Oh, sorry. I
Настоящего
skipped it a little bit too
свободы.
fast.
Позволь Ромке проводить тебя сегодня.
I forced myself to speak, but my lips went numb and my face turned to stone. I was afraid that my voice would give away my true feelings. Words were like razors that cut my chest and my windpipe before scattering out of my mouth. Polina stayed silent for what felt like an eternity and beyond. She snorted angrily and tapped her fingers on the black violin case. Finally, she sighed and spoke.
Передай своему Ромке, что я жду у школьных ворот. Но чтоб не думал себе всякое.
I find happiness. I could fake emotions if needed be.
Ты не пожалеешь.
I slowly shuffled my way around the corner, my eyes shut tight and my heart beating like a hammer that drove nails deep into my soul. Romka sat in squatting position. Of course he was squatting, he's a fucking slab! Of course we're squatting all the time! Ruffling his short hair.
Она ждет тебя у ворот.
I was rewarded with the amazed look on my buddy's face. He sprang up, choking on words. Total opposite of the shut-off silent leader that I met just last week.
Тош, ты спас меня! Братан, да я теперь твой должник.
Oh, you
на
bet.
века!
You bet, Romka.
Хочешь, я тебе Тетрис подгоню. А хочешь, научу рукопашным приемам?
Dude, I'm pretty sure we hit harder than you do with your fist.
Или...
I only had one dream, to be left alone. That's so relatable, Oh, so I could watch the forest sway in the wind in complete silence. So I could breathe in the frosty smell through the old mask.
Иди уже.
I hope that when it comes to Alisa, I won't need to choose between friendship and my feelings. I have no one left apart from her. Well, maybe also Olia. I'm not saying anything. But of course, she was my only ray of light in this pitch black taiga. How could I forget about my little sister? Yeah, he tends to do that. Ramka, who already started walking, stopped and looked at me.
Я хочу оказаться вместе с сестрой в Диснейленде.
I'm pretty sure he does not have enough money to take you, your sister, and your parents because you need adult with you to Disneyland. My buddy smirked and pulled his hat to the back of his head.
И что ты предлагаешь? Сберкассу обнести?
Son, Anton has both crush on Alisa, the girl who's dressed up like a fox, or maybe is a fox or some kind of spirit, we don't really know. But he's on the same time in kind of like, you know, charmed by Paulina. And that's why in the game, two main routes are between those two characters. So you either follow Alisa more or you follow Paulina more. And depending on the route you choose, we're playing Alisa's route. So because we play Alisa's route, in here he has to give up for his feelings for Paulina, at least until chapter 4, from which I played. He still likes her, but obviously, like, now he prioritizes Alisa more. Foxes always win, yeah.
Нет, надо просто поймать маньяка. Того, кто в ответе за все эти похищения.
Alright, because Anton still has this great idea that they will catch the predator and get money to go to Disney. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Обещанную награду в милиции.
Anonka winced and hid his hands in the pockets of his pants.
Думаешь, тебе этот лейтенант что-то за сотрудничество отстегнет? Подарит максимум часы командирские и будь здоров.
I got tired of arguing with Romka.
Ты поможешь мне? Да или нет?
Я сказал уже, мы команда. Куда ты, туда и я.
Хорошо. Теперь понять бы, с чего начинать.
Слушай, Бяша говорил, что слышал плач в буреломе за кладбищем. Готов поспорить, это была Катька.
I tensed up like a guitar string. Katya was a step toward Semyon, and he was a step toward Vova. We'll help the police arrest that accused killer, and our village would stop living in fear. And then adults would lift their restriction that prohibit Olya from going outside. And I'd finally be able to teach her how to jump to the sky with her new friends.
Как тогда будем действовать?
Так сразу не скажу, да и время поджимает. Давай пересечемся у дома Полины через час. Нет, лучше через 1,5. Знаешь, где она живет?
I remembered the house number I sneakily looked up in Paulina's questionnaire.
Думаю, найду.
Отлично, мне пора.
He's so proud of himself, like he didn't do shit though. And Ronka sped off, leaving me alone to try and calm down my galloping heart. Maybe now, when I have Ronka's support, this nightmare will finally end. Biasha, who was chewing on some sunflower seeds, grimaced as soon as I approached him. Oh my god, he spat out the sunflower seed. Ah!
Бросили меня тут на. И трулили вдвоем. Голубки. А еще она команда Вольтрона называется.
Biasha gave me a morose look and turned away. For a minute, I pondered whether Biasha could help us search for Katya, but what if Ronka's crony will only ruin everything? We're going to invite him, like, he's already all known, like, he didn't, I mean, yeah, he's one of the delinquents, obviously. But yeah, he knows more about the exact place where it is, so Even if he most probably runs away from fear, because obviously, like, if it's going to be a black garage, he's going to go crazy and run away. But, you know, he'll help us find the right direction.
Ну, Бяш, не обижайся. Ромка голову совсем потерял. Ты уж не злись на него сильно. А про тебя я помню. Вот, держи от меня подарок.
I handed my improved sketch of Voltron, a giant transformer robot made out of 5 smaller lion robots, to Biasha. Free commission, guys! Whoop whoop whoop! Free art!
Спасибо, Антоха! Лазил! Ты чего уж там? Через 1,5 часа встречаемся у Полининого дома. Намечается срочное дело.
Biasha's face became pink from happiness.
Чем будем заниматься?
His approach changed entirely. Like he was, oh, whatever, guys, you left me alone. And now he's like, oh, what would you want me to help with? I showed him a sad smile while calculating our chances.
Стараемся не пропасть без вести.
After the longest 1.5 hours in my life, I felt like my brain was put into a blender and ground into grey mush. Anxious thoughts overlapped in my head. Katya went missing, the forest, the serial killer, the crypts, the graves, the crosses. Biasha crawled out of the early twilight a block away from the place we agreed to meet at.
Чего унылый такой, на? Свежих анекдотов нет.
Right now, I was happy to see even his ugly mug.
Вся банда в сборе.
Bringing up Romka's date was clearly unnecessary. I could tell it went wonderful by the wide grin on his face. I'm pretty sure for him it went wonderful. I'm not sure if Polina was much into it, though. Romka rammed me jokingly in the side.
Ну айда, джентльмены!
Этот счастливый, тот несчастный. Фиг вас поймёт, на.
А ты лишний раз, Бяш, не думай. А то, глядишь, последняя извилина узлом закрутится.
At the same time, the village folk cooked dinners inside their homes, watched their TVs, fought over silly things. Grim-faced men smoked on their porches, while rollers creaked. The blizzard arched around the village. But it wasn't the blizzard that worried or scared me. The forest grew in front of our faces, and I wasn't sure if we entered it or it just devoured us with its toothy maw. Pines creaked and long shadows stretched from the taiga. They bent their trunks on both sides of the road. None of us spoke a single word when we stepped into the windbreak. Pale fog streamed above the raviness, its tail swirling in a ghostly dance. The nauseous smell of church candle wax around us muddled my mind. Sorry. By God, I cannot read today. The snow slurped, giving way under the soles of my shoes. Bumps all around us reminded me of funeral moons, with twisted wilting trees acting as crosses. Darkness wailed and bubbled from underneath the frozen swamps. The wind howled in anger. Keeping track of time became meaningless. At some point we stopped before a pile of windfall.
Значит так, поисковая операция начинается. Далеко не разбредаемся, ищем любые следы Кати или похитителя. И желательно, пацаны, поживее. Уже через час станет темно, хоть глаз выколи.
We started carefully wading through fallen trees in vain hope of finding at least something.
Хрена лысого мы в таких потемках найдем. Давайте узелу-то по домам. Опачки. Чё тут у нас?
Let's go!
Мне сегодня фартит. Братва! Я, кажись, нашел! Это ж Каткин кошелек!
And then I heard a stifled scream. I had no idea who produced it. Was it Biasha, Romka, or me? Then I finally saw it with my own eyes, but I still couldn't believe them. Biasha, his hair completely white, stumbled away in horror before eventually plopping into a snow pile. I looked at it. My God. I looked at his outstretched hand that pointed at the void. His fingers shook like crazy. You know what's funny? It's just like, it's actually a real thing for your hair to turn white due to trauma. Apparently, that's a real thing. Like, legitimate thing that can happen to you in real life. Yasha jumped up as if something bit him and fled. Ramka didn't even glance his way. He kept staring in front of himself, without blinking, without breathing. I didn't even notice how my legs started carrying me towards something indescribably horrific. With an indecisive motion, I pulled away the veil of fluffy evergreen. A small clearing that was once burned out with a precise lightning strike showed itself from behind the spruces. So now we have like the black garage from the picture that the police had in the files. So that's interesting. If they have this kind of like picture, that means they had to be there, right? So why didn't they investigate? A circle of blackened tree stumps. And also this place was shown in the documentary that we've seen in chapter, was it 1, I think. Inside it, the black garage. Its smooth walls painted black. It seemed like they absorbed darkness itself. It felt like the garage wasn't just a metal box that could be easily moved from one place to another. It was alive. An insect with a black glossy carapace. A gluttonous carrion. We kept staring at it while it watched us carefully with its single red blinking eye. I tried to persuade myself that it was just a light bulb. Wait, is the light bulb red? The low hum produced by an electric generator sounded menacing.
Открыто.
I tried swallowing. My mouth was dry as a desert. The garage doors were open. Darkness swirled inside it. I felt someone's touch. Romka put his palm on my shoulder.
Пойдем.
He looked far older than his real age. Actually, he looked like a decrepit old man.
Куда? Ты что, сбрендил? Давай предупредим лейтенанта Тихонова.
Romka spat at his feet.
Не будь ты таким наивным, Тоха. Твой Тихонов, он даже варежку в лесу отыскать не смог. Ха-ха.
That's kind of true. Like, we see so many things, and obviously there is a possibility that we see so many things because we are kids, and this being or serial killer or whatever that is that's making all those things happening may be only giving hints to kids, or maybe kids are able to see them. Maybe that's the point. And also, they already had a picture of this black garage, so they had to be there. If they have not found anything beforehand and didn't well, they kind of marked it as a suspicious thing if they had it in the files, but still, I feel like he wouldn't do anything in there.
Да и западло с ментом сотрудничать. Особенно, когда я у него на учете состою.
The delinquent brandished his trademark knife and looked at me.
Маньяк наверняка вернулся туда, в свое логово. Если получится, возьмем его тепленьким, пока он не ждет. Иначе в следующий раз подкараулит уже он.
The animal kid said he was just a man from the village. But can we beat him by ourselves?
Второго шанса может не быть, брат.
Romka acting tough? Yeah, he is.
Так что решайся.
He's more confident into stabbing someone with a knife than he would be with, like, asking a girl out. But that's, like, that's part of his personality, though. Yeah, we're going to the garage, guys. Trust me, it's a better choice. I mean, this is a more interesting choice. Is it better? I don't know. Will this video get banned on YouTube? I hope not. I won't be done. What are you talking about, Ayel? Come on. We got closer to the building. The metal box was completely silent apart from the generator's hum. Romka knocked on the gate with his knuckles as if to make sure it's not going to turn into a predatory maw. With newfound confidence, he opened the gate wider and started feeling around the wall looking for the light switch.
Помоги-ка мне.
Okay, I guess we need to turn it on. There we go. It turned out to be an ordinary garage on the inside. Tool shelves on both sides, canisters, rugs, and a covered car. No serial killers, no murder victims. I even chuckled in relief. Similar emotion could be read from my companion's face. Could be read, sorry. Veronica entered the garage and went clockwise around the car. He rummaged through the dusty shelves, then looked at me. I got brave enough to set one foot inside the garage. After Akamega kill, hooks from ceilings in sheds garages don't inspire any good feelings in me. Dude, Akamega kill was in so many ways so shitty, but I feel like I watched it in such a good way that I didn't think it was like edgelord cringe, like a lot of people are saying the series is. I didn't mind it that much, really. But it pissed me off that the manga was entirely, like the anime was entirely different from the manga when it comes to the ending. I think I like the anime ending more though, ironically. Darkness was plastered all over its corners like a spider web, but if there ever was a spider here, it left its nest a long time ago. I watched it in my edgelord era, so it was big. Nice. Finally YouTube fixed and I can write. Hello! We're playing Tiny Bunny chapter 4 to be more specific, so second to last chapter and the only one available until this Saturday. So yeah, that's what we're playing. It's a horror game, a horror visual novel, so if you don't have, well, if you're easily scared, then I would highly recommend, like, just be warned, okay? Hey, Mr. General, you came right into the garage. Hello, welcome to our garage. We're going to pimp our ride. Are you ready? Only good endings where everyone lives happily ever after get kind of tiring after the 1000th time. Yeah, kind of. Fuck, Adam has cooking stream and I forgot about yours. It is what it is. You will have to catch up for the beginning. But to summarize what happened so far for you guys who just joined, in this chapter, we decided to help Romka with Polina, so she kind of started hating us, but we kind of like tried to help our guy get the girl. So it's like, well, we're unhappy about it, but we still like Alisa more, so it's like, you know, only partially an issue. And because Romka said, oh, now I'm in your debt, Anton thought, okay, let's find a serial killer together then, so we can get money and I can take my family to Disneyland. And this is how we found the black garage, because Biasha heard screams last night and Katya was missing, so well, we thought that maybe Katya's there and we entered the black garage. So right now we're in the black garage. Just short description of what happened, more or less. Not saying that IG endings are better, but when endings have some depth, dude. Yeah, of course. Okay, let's look around a little bit, shall we? What do we have here? What did it grip? What crunched under the pressure of its metal maws? What poured down on the workbench from the ripping flesh? Its cast iron parts crumbled from continued use. But it was just a normal metalwork vise. We had one just like this in our shop classroom. A vise for metal parts, not for victims. Drops of oil, not blood. Whatever you say. The surrounding dim light couldn't reach there. Anything could be hidden in the dark. What if someone is watching me from there, hiding behind silver webs? Let me stand on my tiptoes. No, nothing but dust and old junk. Rusty tools that look like steel fangs inside the jaws of this icy place, or like torture tools of a medieval executioner. The moment you touch these, a wound will bloom on your finger and the resulting cut will get infected from the rust and the dry fat, and you'll rot away alive. There's also something scarlet on those pincers. I need to go and check. Paint. It's just a paint. I love this scene because, like, obviously, like, you see all those suspicious things and you think, oh, maybe it will be something here, it will be something there, right? And Anton, like, comes around, looks at it, and it's like, oh, it's just oil. Oh, it's just paint. Never mind. You know, I love how they write these descriptions of those things in here. Why does this look so much like an altar? As in, the garage is a church, and these here are the attributes of an inhuman taiga religion. I don't want to look at the icons of that beastly faith, ancient scriptures and iron relics. No, It's just a pile of junk. You see what I'm talking about? Just like, yes, this is what is here, but actually it's not. So that's why it makes me feel like everything that's like folklore-ish is only in Anton's mind, but at the same time, like, there are so many things that you cannot explain. How can you make it up? Like, for example, where did his glasses come from? On his windowsill, when clearly Semyon was the one who took them away. Unless he somehow found them in the window and then, like, found them in the forest and then put them there and he forgot, maybe. Nobody is worshipped here. But then again, like, he had all, like, the locked down, like, his window was all locked, so, like, what, he taped it so perfectly well again? I don't know. It's like he's going between paranoia and thinking logically. Yeah. It's fun. Nobody is worshipped here. Shrines like these don't exist. And there's some walks on the tabletop, because they often have blackouts and the owner works in candlelight. Duh. Because there wouldn't be electricity all the time, so he has to work in the... Yeah. But what if? But what if? Severed limbs, mounds of ground meat, and heads plastered with meat flies. I'll see all of that inside this box. Just like in a nightmare, a scary version of the Field of Wonders, where the host pulls out puzzling prices out of black box. In reality, the box was empty. Even if there was something inside, it was probably taken out at some point. I think that was everything. Well, other than this thing in the middle. We can click on the thing in the middle. Oh, shit. I couldn't... Wait. This is a car. What else can it be? Wait. It was something else in there. It's a car. What else can it be? Just a car covered with a tarp. There was nobody inside it. No dead, no living. The stench of dried up blood. It's all in my head. The thing under the cover smells like machine oil. Nothing more. Sorry, then we have repetition because I couldn't click that. Okay! Ready to talk. I don't think there was anything... Yeah, okay. Okay, guys, get ready.
Ржавый хлам. Оказывается, это место капец какое унылое. Какому такому мудаку пришла в голову идея перевозить гараж с места на место? Пошли отсюда.
Ага. Давай догоним Бяшу. Ему крепко досталось.
I went out into the snowfall. Romka was also stomping toward the exit when he suddenly stopped and stared at the car.
Слушай, а что это мы с пустыми
I was
руками?
like, if there's a car parts, you know, I can sell them in a pawn shop, you know.
Дай-ка ехать в магнит.
Uh,
Обожди минуту, я мигом.
somebody sniffled from under the cover. I almost plopped into the snow pile from surprise.
Ты слышал? Она там.
I watched my friend tugging at the cloth, but I couldn't muster the strength to rush to his aid. My legs froze into the ground. About her turning from trauma, I wonder how fast it happens. Like, is what happened to Biasha even possible? I don't know. I didn't read in depth about it, but the first time I've heard about it was when I was reading Windbreaker manga, and apparently, like, people went in depth of, is it possible for her to turn white? And it's actually true, but I don't know how fast does it have to, you know, take. My legs froze into the ground. Still, Romka managed, even without me. The cover he slashed with his knife flew to the side. There was no car underneath it. Instead, as if growing out of the floor, there stood a huge meat grinder, sparkling with its well-oiled parts. I saw one just like this in Under 16 and Beyond. Okay, let's read it before we get into... I know it's anticlimactic, but let's read it. A Soviet and Russian TV program covering the problems of 90s youth's homelessness. Wow. Homelessness, the rock movement, substance abuse, troubles in familial relationship, and lack of healthy hobbies. An industrial giant that factories used to grind cow carcasses when making sausage. Inside its bowl, which reminded me of the bloodthirsty maws of a Venus flytrap, sat a tied-up Katya. She looked like she just snapped out of a daydream, and her eyes rounded in horror. The gag in Katya's mouth prevented her from doing anything but moaning and sniffling. You see, she was in a trance. So once again, I feel like she saw what we saw, which was like creatures, you know, candies, toys, and all of that. I thought her knees were grind to the muscles and bones. Oh, just you wait, Dial. I threw my off-stopper like a heavy tarp and rushed inside the garage. In the meantime, Romka almost managed to climb the steel death machine. He grabbed Katya under her shoulders and... He must have pressed some sort of button with his knee. You fucking dumbass! The mechanism started rumbling like an empty stomach. Romka realized what he had done, so he screamed. It's no use. Not a single damn button or a switch helped in stopping those horrible screeching wheels. We bent toward Katya and tried to pull her out by the elbow. The spiral on the bottom got to work. They slowly winded up, gathering more and more speed with every turn. Then came the crunching sound like that of a flame eating away at firewood. Oh, let's rescue them! Come on! Bro! Oh, man. YouTube is gonna ban me! Oh, fuck, wait. I'm sorry, but the grinder didn't let go. It started to feast. I screamed when I saw Katya's squashed legs getting wrapped around the grinder blades. They looked like a pair of tattered stockings now. Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit. I'm sorry. Her bones pierced the skin and poked out like pointed twigs. A white kneecap floated around in the crimson syrup. I was trying to pull Katya out, but I could tell I was losing. Oh! My god, yeah! That's pretty drastic, I know. The blades crushed her pelvis, the blood gravy bubbled up. Katya kept wailing, holding the same maddening note. Her eyes bloodshot from all the burst blood vessels popped out of their sockets. The blades reached her stomach. They scoped up the glacious tubes of intestines with ease. Just like Olia wrapped spaghetti around her fork, the stench of entrails spread through the garage. I stopped trying to help Katya. She was clearly too far gone already. The girl's head dangled helplessly, her murky eyes stared into space. The meat grinder chewed through Katya's ribcage and devoured her barely formed breasts. Her face darkened due to rising blood pressure. Scarlet streams ran from her eyes and ears. Katya was dead, but the machine had no intention of stopping. Hair got tangled in the blades and scalp got separated from Katya's skull with a loud smacking sound. The skin on her face slid down, the death grimace made me stagger away. I felt a pair of hands on my body and I thought that I was also about to get thrown into the bowl as a desert. I was about to become a part of the same mincemeat mass as Katya, but it was Romka dragging me away. From the mechanism's metal trunk, a thick blood-filled sausage with hair and bones mixed and plopped into the tray. Yeah, Roma, it's because of you! You turned it on, you fucking dumbass! I unzipped my backpack with ice-cold fingers. I lifted the Polaroid and wiped the tears off my face with my sleeve. The blade almost finished chewing up the bones. A torn-out braid dangled from one of the steel teeth. I took aim and got the hair bind with a plastic strawberry in the frame. Yeah, there we go. Taking a photo. Click. That's why we needed the photograph so much. The braid fell inside the grinder. The giant machine stopped after letting out the last gurgle. We stumbled out of the garage. I grabbed a handful of snow and shoved it in my mouth, then chewed on the mushy substance. Roma was on his knees, wiping his face with snow. I crawled away from the monstrous meat grinder, clinging to the ice with my nails. I coughed up, as if trying to expectorate the memory of what I saw. I cannot read today, I apologize. But I knew that I'd never forget the smell, the sound of breaking bones and Katya's agony. How are you feeling, guys? All good? Skill issue. Okay, fun fact about this part of the game. There was one guy who was running around Steam and trolling people, saying that if you click fast enough, you can actually save her. And I was baited into believing that. Yeah, that's not possible. Bad, feeling bad. Well, how is Romka so calm? I'm pretty sure he's just like wanted to run away because he was scared. Like, he wasn't calm. He was just like, you know how you get cold sweat? I think that's what happened to him. Like, the moment like we gotta run, his survival instincts kicked in. Yeah, Anton was not high as fuck. I'm pretty sure Romka is just and the picture, the photo that we took is a proof that it happened. Roma crawled up to me on all fours, and for a moment I felt like he lost his sanity from horror, and now he was going to tear into my throat like a wild beast. Instead, he grabbed my coat and started scrubbing scarlet drops from my sleeve with snow.
Что ты делаешь? Никто не должен узнать.
О чем ты?
Никакой милиции, слышишь? Катю по частям мы не соберем. А я не хочу сесть в тюрьму,
Also he's scared that he's going to get like go to jail. That they're the ones who done that.
Но ты говорил...
Говорил.
He threw a hateful glare at the garage.
Я включил мясорубку.
That's okay. So he thinks he turned something on, right? It's written that way. But what if this meat grinder was somehow timed? Because this is my theory, that it was actually not Romka's fault, although it can be as well. It doesn't change much, but I feel like because, like, you know, she was in a trance and only woke up later on, it feels like maybe it was timed for her to actually get grinded at some point anyways. I don't know. Because it would be weird if, like, you know, the serial killer just left her like that, you know, without anything. At least that's, like, my idea. Like, I feel like it's kind of off, but maybe it's just, like, you know, plot hole or whatever.
Нечаянно.
Попробуй докажи. Им только и надо, чтобы на кого-то повесить убийство.
We can still say that we were there alone and the grinder was already turned on and we tried to pull her out, you know? No one was there other than us.
Я за решетку пойду, а маньяк будет разгуливать на свободе.
Also, who keeps their prisoner inside the torture machine all the time? Yeah, right? This feels off. This feels off. Obviously, she was in a trance, so she was most probably drugged by the candies, probably, that was given in the forest, just like they wanted to give it to us. It's just like, I don't know what Katya's role is. We do know that our role is a bunny, so we are kind of half safe in a way, but only half safe.
Блядь! А жизнь ведь только начала налаживаться.
Но мы не можем просто так.
Можем, поклянись, что никому не скажешь.
He didn't say the or else part out loud, but his tone of voice clearly had that implication. I stayed silent for a minute. I spent it thinking about the bloody gravy that was flowing out of the machine. Bunny and the fox prey and predator, maybe. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we're the only prey in the whole team, right? Like, you see all those kids with masks. We have an owl, which is a predator. We have a fox, predator. Bear, predator, and a wolf. 4 predators. Why are we the only ones that are not predatory? You know, that's also an intriguing thing. It's like, oh, we're friends, we'll save you, but at the same time, we're still a bunny, you know. And that's a fun thing about this game. It's just like, I don't know, like there are so many elements that you can interpret in so many different ways. But I'm very, very much excited to learn about, like, the true ending. Like, you know, beside my interpretations, my ideas, my concepts, I want to know what's going on. That's the most important thing for me right now. Roma was right. Even if Tikhonov believes us, the garage might be gone by that time. It will just magically teleport to some other clearing on the other side of the damned forest.
Пожалуйста! Кто-то должен защищать Полину!
Oh yeah, too, I thought while nodding slowly.
Хорошо.
I was afraid I wouldn't be able to keep my word. That Mom will read it off my face, that she will notice the blood drops or sense the smell. Your mother is in denial, Anton. I'm pretty sure she will just ignore that. In my mind, Bonnie is an allegory for escapism or something, but I've not seen enough of Anton to know if he runs away from things in life. That's the thing. It's like his parents ran away. Like, he didn't want to come here. Even, like, it's of course, like, how we decide to go. But when we decide to fight back, when we decide to be, like, more assertive, it feels more like we're getting less and less like a character that would run away from things in life, which is interesting as well. Yeah, like, his animalistic instincts were kicking in, but at the same time those instincts were very predatory, right? It's like very aggressive, and it's like, you know, other than jackalopes, right? Jackalopes? Am I saying no? The bunnies, the bunnies that are like kind of crazy wild. Usually the bunny means like rather an innocent creature. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll crack. I'll just fall on the floor before her and start wailing, scared for myself and my family. At that moment, I had no idea what was actually waiting for me in the place I mistakenly called home. If I remember, if we go to the police instead, nothing really happens. Seems like we're in a police office and like they ask us questions, but they don't really believe us that much. The front door was open and swayed slightly in the wind. It felt like my skin was getting covered in rime. I clenched my fists. Sharp edges of the photo sifting Katya's remains dug into my palm. Darkness oozed into the hallway and snowflakes floated inside along with it, landing softly on the rug, like a pack of vultures that sensed their food. I imagined 3 meat grinders in different parts of the house and 3 members of my family getting ground by their blades. I stepped into the doorway with the utmost caution. For a moment I thought I heard someone talking in the kitchen, but it turned out to be a radio broadcast. Does he behave like a coward in the other route? You can fight back, but you cannot win the fight against Semyon in Polina's route. And we, most of the time, like, we don't really fight against Romka that much. We focus more on Polina. And we learn more about her past, and the folklore of this specific, like, little town. So it's hard to call at any moment that he was like acting more cowardly. I wouldn't say so, or at least it's not like significantly visible. So when we're being with predators, he behaves more like them. You could say that for sure. Like the animalistic side definitely only appears in this route, but still there's something wrong in there. He's acting more like a simp in different route, okay? I gotta say it out loud. He's acting like a true simp in second route. I heard voices coming from the upper floor too. For the first time in my life, sounds of a quarrel calmed me down. The staircase let out a long squeak. I took one step, yet my heart managed to beat 6 or 7 times in the meantime. The door to my parents' bedroom was ajar. A shadow play unfolded inside the light spot. Black silhouettes were performing a dance of hatred. Mom hissed at Dad, her wrists flying towards the ceiling, and he towered over her, his hands crossed on his huge chest. This is why I believe this scene is why I believe the guy who we have seen and who we have painted to give to the police officer is someone connected to the father. You see? I saw him in the village. So he was probably like connected to some kind of mafia or gang, Russian gang or mafia. I stuffed the photo inside my pocket and walked toward my bedroom. My parents were in the middle of another quarrel while they showered each other with mutual accusations. Dad let out a low beast-like roar.
Пусть они прекратят.
Olia stood in the corridor, pressing her little palms against her ears. I just away the illusion where my sister was getting devoured by the blades of a meat grinder. Her face swollen from crying made my skin freeze. And it almost managed to push Katya's bloody image out of my mind.
Что случилось? Они разведутся.
I think the divorce is the least of our problems now, Olia. I hugged my sister and held her tight. My tongue refused to listen to my commands to look for excuse. It felt like the screams were coming from every direction, right and left, up and down, splitting my head apart. So surreal hearing this warning for some reason. Like, it's hard for me to imagine that you need to be warned to that level about the weather. Yeah. Swear words rained down on us, so we covered our heads with our hands like refugees running from a bombing.
Я хочу уйти.
В свою комнату.
Нет. Дальше. Отведи меня в Небыляндию. Ты обещал.
Well, I'm not Peter Pan, girl. I carefully unglued Olia's hands from her ears and led her away from the room with our parents, which was vibrating with malice.
Из-за тебя!
Ради кого?
In moments like these, I despise them more than they despised each other. I bolted down the door to my room and leaned against it. My knees gave away.
Почему тебя не было так долго?
Я пытался помочь одной девочке.
Did you help her? Haha.
Не думаю.
Nope. I stood in front of the table, carefully opened one of its drawers, and threw the photo of Katya's bloody braid inside. The writing is extremely good in this one. Like, sure, there are moments where, like, oh my god, Anton, you simp. But other than that, it's like the concept of the story is fantastic. I fell in love with it, like, when I started playing it. I remember because, like, we started playing it back when I was still streaming on Twitch. When I had my 1-year anniversary. I had my debut of my new model and all of that. And one of, like, the ideas for me was to play a horror game. And I chose this one because, like, I got intrigued by this one and I do not regret it. Then later on we continued playing that because I was extremely excited about it. So, and everyone else was very much into it, and I remember we all lived through that for the first few weeks. But then there was no news about a sequel. They only, not the sequel, but like chapter 5. They only kept on saying, like, oh, it's like this percentage of progress is made, that percentage of progress is made. But nothing much, and only now we get to learn the final of the story finally after, well, for me, 2 years. Feeling tense reading that? Hell yeah. Olia tried to take a look behind my back, but I slammed the drawer shut. And at the same time something hit the window's ledge on the outside. Olia shuddered and shifted her gaze toward it. Bam! Another snowball smacked into the window's frame.
Ты ждешь кого-то?
I didn't reply. Instead, I let go of her wrist. Olia wept in fear. I crossed the room, wincing from every shout coming from my parents. I could hear plates getting smashed now. They must have moved their argument to the kitchen. Well, I don't think we have anything else other than to open. Yeah, I flung the curtains and the window open. Hooty, Teddy, Wolfie. I love how creepy they look, and he's like, oh, Hooty, Teddy, and Wolfie! And most importantly, the charming Alyssa stood outside, waving at us. Olia gasped in surprise when she saw the old girl.
Я же говорила.
Да, знаю, я тебе всегда верил.
Кто они?
Her fearful voice also had some curiosity mixed in.
Чтобы в такую погоду дома сидеть, надо быть очень...
I mean, it's fucking snowing, Alyssa! To be fair, like, Alyssa's voice is so natural, and then we have the owl, and it's like so distorted. Hi, Floyd, and hello!
Давайте только не во все игры играть, а то у меня лапка болит. По чуть-чуть. И потом отдохнем.
I know why, but like Wolf is, he's so whimsical. He's like, oh, friends, yeah. I don't know, like for me, he's like the funniest character of them all. He's just like so whimsical and crazy.
Выходите скорее играть и танцевать!
My heart started beating faster as soon as I saw Alyssa, and my inner voice practically screamed, she's here, she's finally here. Oh my god, stop it! You're simping too hard, Anton, and it's showing.
Не знают, как попасть в Небыляндию.
Yeah, if Neverland, yeah, I guess, oh yeah. I entertained that possibility looking at the animal kids.
Может быть, пойдем и узнаем.
Remember the moment when it's like, Anton was like, don't come near her, and now he's like, oh no, let's go, because this is the only escape that they have right now. Which, so nicely appeared just as the parents argued even more. It's crazy. The silhouettes of my forest friends promised to free us from sadness, anger, and nightly horrors. I wouldn't be so sure about that! I took one phone and I'm back to some FNAF shit. Oh, just you wait, it's going to get even better. I made sure that Olya wore warm clothes. Mom barked at Dad like a wild beast from that show with Nikolai Drozdov. Let's see who Nikolai Drozdov is. A Soviet and Russian zoologist, traveler, popular science advocate, and a TV host featuring in the Inside the Animal Kingdom program. He's famous for his infectious optimism and overwhelmingly empathetic attitude towards animals. We sneaked past the rambling kitchen and into the snowfall outside. Alyssa ran up to me and hugged me tight, poking her cold nose into my neck.
Как же долго! Пока мы вас, домоседов, ждали, то чуть не состарились.
She called them out to be shut-ins. I mean, Olya is, but I don't think she's... You know, she's doing it purposefully. She pressed her body into me even harder. Oh my god.
Оказывается, ждать так утомительно. Фу, дайте хоть минуточку в себя прийти.
Однажды я тоже долго собиралась.
Man,
А когда закончила,
my tea is cold. It's sad.
куда?
Olya looked at the owl with suspicion. But she still giggled when the bird did a backflip and landed perfectly on her feet without staggering. You see, instead of like jumping into her window, you should have done a backflip right from the beginning. Then Olya would probably be missing in the first chapter. But whatever. And all the other animals, as if on cue, stopped fooling around and stared at Olya in amazement.
Это же та девочка, что не хотела со мной дружить.
Меня зовут Оля. Раньше я просто тебя боялась.
The old voice sounds so on point.
Тебя испугала наша совушка?
Может быть, у нее совофобия?
А это лечится?
It's interesting because like she's the smallest one and we can assume that it's like the first girl missing who should be small, but the voice is so deep, right?
Главное, чтобы ребенок не боялся веселиться. Иначе с нами можно умереть от страха.
I was stunned at the realization that my lips were slowly forming a smile. And that's after everything I saw in the garage. Every time I met Alyssa, it felt like I crossed a river and the sound of flowing water suppressed all of my negative thoughts.
Какие у вас красивые костюмы!
Yeah, costumes, right? The fox girl let go of me and squatted beside Olya. She also squatted. They're all Slavs.
О, какая очаровашка! Антоша, почему ты прятал от нас это милое создание раньше?
Oh gee, I wonder why. Maybe because before we were more sensible than we are now. I glanced at the house, worried that our parents might have seen us and were about to ruin our fun like they always do. Wait for what? Wait for what, Isle? Then hugged my sister and replied, why are missing children portrayed as predatory animals? That's the question. That's exactly the question. Why? Why? We have so many why questions. are they even kids still, or are they just like spirits of kids who are roaming the forest, trying to play with kids, not knowing they're being used to lure them into the evil? And that might be the point. So like the kids, like their spirits are still free and carefree, but their presence as predators may be like the closest they can give as a warning towards other kids. But once they win them over, just like they do now with Olia, and just like they did with Anton, nothing can save you, right? Because then you think, oh no, they're friends, they're fun, they're whimsical, they're joy, they bring fun, they just want to play with us. Then you lose the feeling that they're predators. But at the very beginning, it is a warning. And I think that's why they're like that, because like deep inside they don't want for those kids to go through what they went through, but their spirits might be controlled by the evil being, the goatman, whatever. But that's just a theory, a game theory. Will we learn all the answers? I'm pretty sure we won't, but I'm not going to be mad. Although I would love to have like an interview with creators then. Which I don't think I would be able to do because my Russian is on like basic ass level. Then hugged my sister and replied,
Давайте отойдем подальше.
but why would the killed children try to get other kids killed? Like, out of the spirit. Yeah. Sorry, you're a little bit behind us. in like, after I say things. Yeah, it's like, I don't think they would want to do that. But they're like being manipulated, being used, basically. Or maybe it's like, you need to bring me kids so you can forever have happiness. Like, you know, like, if you want, bring them to me. Like, now you're free. If you want to bring other kids to me, I will take away this freedom from you. Maybe that's also the case. That's, like, they are being manipulated and they are aware what they're doing. And Aikeji theory. Thanks for watching. No, don't leave. We still haven't finished the chapter.
Запросто. Оля, а ты знаешь, как найти в нашем лесу Деда Мороза?
Okay, we know, I know what Grandpa Frost is. That Ded Moroz, a legendary figure similar to Santa Claus, hailing from Slavic mythology. He's often depicted wearing a heel-length fur coat in red or blue, a semi-round fur hat, and a pair of Russian traditional winter footwear, valenki. His face is adorned by a long white beard and he walks with a long magic stick. He's said to bring presents to well-behaving children on the New Year's Eve. My little sister's eyes widened.
Как? Нужно идти по сладкой тропинке.
Alisa bent down and took a candy out of the snow. Olia raised her hands in amazement. She gave me an inquiring look. I nodded. My sister munched on the candy. Oh my god, this crunch was so hard. Like, this candy must have been extremely hot.
У нас что, в лесу завелся Дед Мороз? Почему, ты мне не рассказывала?
Я рассказывала. Сегодня днем.
Но ведь днем я сплю.
Ага. Вот я и рассказывала.
Haha, very funny, Alisa. That's rude. No candies? No. Damn, that tail wag! Alisa dashed away, wiggling her red tail like a torch's flame. Olia went after her without thinking and laughed after taking another candy out of a snow pile.
Вы такие бодрые, на вас аж смотреть противно.
А ты давай не зевай. Лучше беги с нами к Деду Морозу, пока все подарки не разобрали.
Скажешь тоже. Скорее уж мне на голову свалится 3 кило конфет, чем я поверю в байки лисицы.
When the aforementioned sweets started raining down on the bear's head, I couldn't stop myself from laughing at him, ouching and bobbing his head up and down. Those candies are suspicious, oh hell yeah they are. But remember, we ate one of those. We ate the chewing gum. We swallowed it in chapter 2. Tasty treats glistened in the snow. Teddy sneezed and pulled a little berry in the north candy out of his ear. I don't know this kind of sweet.
Я бы вздремнул часок, а уж потом пересчитал все эти шоколадки. У меня такое подозрение, что тут не больше килограмма.
Lisa shouted at us from the other side of the forest.
Не в этой жизни! Давайте скорее! Дед Мороз уже заждался нас вот...
Yeah, in his castle, guys! I shrugged and ran, running, losing the grip of fear I felt all this time. Something round whizzed past my temple. I decided it was a snowball, but then Olya proclaimed. Zephyr! It's like a type of soft confectionery popular in post-Soviet countries. It's made by whipping fruit and berry puree with sugar and egg whites with subsequent addition of a gelling agent. Its chocolate-coated variant shares the same family of treats with American Malamars, German Schokokus, and Iranian Bastani Zemestani. I don't know, Isle, is it? Is the castle perhaps a garage? Is it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Не подбирай, он испачкался.
Ты что, веришь в микробов?
Oh, now Alisa is bringing out microbes. It's like, oh no, they don't exist.
А ты нет?
Раньше верила.
Graceful rows of colossal pines greeted us with their rustling paws. Snow drifted upward into the endless black sky just like the last time. Snow piles lighted up like melted silver.
Как же красиво! А я думала, в лесу страшно.
I wonder. I wonder indeed.
Нас родители пугали лесом, снегом и совой. Ну а мы с совой играли в снежной чаще под луной.
I did my best to keep track of Olia's movement, but it was a difficult task. My sister would jump inside bushes, picking up more candy, only to then get back to the trail laughing. Hooty flew over our heads, landed on a branch, and started hooting and shaking her head. Wolfie ducked into the snow, with his face dragged out a pile of bubblegum, and swallowed it without taking off the wrapping.
У тебя будет несварение.
The wolf got scared and spat out the gumble. The gumble. Like, come on, he's like acting like a puppy, like a kicked puppy. I don't know, something is fun about this concept.
Враки, злые собаки. Нет никаких несварений.
Okay, well, tummy aches don't exist. Tell that to girls on period, Alisa.
Вся эта чушь случается...
Well, okay. Fair. Alisa stopped in her tracks and moved a canopy of intertwined branches to the side in a pompous manner, like you would open the curtains in theater. OMG! It's a snow castle! Right! It is a snow castle, this lamp! Not suspicious at all! No, does not seem familiar. Those lack of windows there? No. Lucky? Couldn't be. Behind that obstacle lay a clearing. There stood an ice castle glistening with silver.
Это все взаправду?
Fox is so suspicious, she's telling us anything to eat this can. Yeah.
Защипнуть тебя.
Не надо ее щипать.
We stared at the sparkling miracle. Its towers and walls were made out of snow and icy marble. I heard a calming sound of ringing little bells. There was also a smell of chocolate and burnt sugar in the air.
Милости прошу к нашему шалашу.
But at the same time, Alisa is the only one that's like not based on any kid that went missing. So that's intriguing. She didn't have to invite us twice. Unless there was like another kid missing, and this is like the first girl who went missing a few years ago. That's might be her. I don't know. I don't think so though. She didn't have to invite us twice. We entered the castle spinning around and squinting from the blinding sparkles. Grandpa Frost sat atop a shiny throne. Yet that's totally not creepy at all. It's totally something that I would not run away from. No, like joyous, fun. Puffy Pom Pom swung atop the two peaks of his head. A snow-white beard covered his kind smile. Ah, that's kind smile? Bro, no, that's not a kind smile. This is a smile, it's like, I will murder you. He looked just like I imagined him back in the day when I still believed in mom's fairy tales. Tall, strong, and hairy, radiating frost and warmth at the same time. And his voice, low and syrupy, enveloped me like the smoke of a festive bonfire. I bet we should see in his lab. Well, Isle, if that's what you're tempted to do, go ahead. You have time. Now, you can sit down. Here you go. I don't feel like I want to do that, but you, go ahead. Certainly not a meat grinder. Of course it's not. What are you talking about?
Антон и Ольга. Ох, и намучились же вы, ребята.
It's a snow palace. What are you talking about?
Добирались.
Что ты, дедушка? Мы быстро дошли.
My sister spoke with the castle's master like she never spoke with adults, in a lively, carefree manner, as if they were the same age.
Знаю. Все знаю.
I have to admit, like, the voice itself is very charming. Like, I gotta say, like, if it was, like, a guy wearing, like, your usual, not this creepy ass, but usual, like, Dziad Maros or Santa Claus outfit, I would be like, okay, yeah, that's a charming voice, that's a nice voice, it's a kind voice. I will, nothing bad will happen. Of course nothing bad will happen, right? We are going for the good ending, guys. For sure.
Кто был покладистым весь год, того подарок утром ждет. А кто ленился и грустил, пускай он дедушку простит. Лентяем и грустяем конфет не запасаем.
А я не ленилась.
Well, you're sitting at home all the time, Olia, watching cartoons.
И о том знаю.
He gave us a long, evaluating look. His real face was hidden under the Grandpa Frost mask. I was just standing there, unblinking, my gaze glued onto the old man. I could accept children living in the forest in fantastical jumps toward the moon, but seeing Grandpa Frost in his frozen castle left me completely speechless.
Есть у меня для вас кое-что особенное.
A sack appeared in his giant hand. My nostrils got attacked by the aroma of cocoa, halva, and tangerines. I know what halva is, but let's read it. A confectionery that originated from Persia, usually consisting of a thick paste made from flour, butter, liquid oil, saffron, rosewater, milk, cocoa powder, and sweetened with sugar. Olia has a rabbit pin on her hat. Yeah, she does. She's a little bunny.
Спасибо, но мы уже ели конфеты.
No, wait, it says horns. Wait, what the fuck is that? I don't think it's a... Oh, never mind, it's not a horn, it's like his ears. It's just like looking weird. Grandpa Frost pierced me with his eyes.
Разве то конфеты были? Так, одно название. Вот у меня конфеты волшебные, прямиком из Небыляндии привезенные.
Yeah, and who makes candy in Neverland, huh? Peter Pan? I don't think so.
Из Небыляндии?
Sorry, I had to change the posture because I was like not sitting straight and it pissed me off.
Сразу бы вам их дал. Заслужили. Но есть правила. Надобно вам 3 дедушкины загадки отгадать. Попробуйте.
My goodness, what is he, a sphinx? I tried splitting my parched lips apart, but Olya was the first to reply.
Тогда слушайте первую. В нем живут машины и хранятся шины.
I looked around at the masked children. They stood without moving in the corners, but their shadows danced on the walls. I heard a low hum, and in my confusion, I thought it was the sound of their rumbling stomachs.
Гараж!
Ah, garage! Yay, Grandpa! Hey, Candyman, Aikeji. Duh, who else would be making candies in Neverland? There's no such a person as a Candyman in Neverland, though.
Верно.
Am I dreaming or his sprite changed? Who's Grandpa's? From when I played it for the first time? I don't think so.
Теперь вторая загадка. Подключайся, Антон.
Another thing is, I feel like for those kids to live forever, they need to eat human flesh. So maybe that's why they are predatory and they need other kids to stay kids forever. So it's like kind of like creepy ass Neverland. I'm sorry for making a break, but it's like I have so many ideas. I forgot about that theory of mine. That's like those kids need to eat children meat to keep being children, and that's why they are predators. And they just try to act like they're friendly, but in the end, all they want to do is to devour you, or the kids.
Весь день ходит, как тень, посудой гремит, на всех шипит.
My eyebrows shot up in confusion.
Мама?
Olia raised her hand.
Можно я? Можно я?
Yeah, oh, so be it.
Это кошка.
Верно. Хо-хо. Осталась последняя загадка.
You don't remember him having this blazing hat? No, he definitely had this blazing hat. Because I remember, like, wait, he has two pom-poms? That's kind of strange. Oh, okay.
Запамятовал я, о чем же была эта загадка. А может, наши друзья-зверята нам подскажут?
Children in costumes surrounded us, laughing and stomping only to start spinning in a crazed roundelay that somewhat reminded me of the dance under my window on that fateful night. Grandpa Frost burst out laughing, satisfied.
Убедили старика.
Oh man.
Чайте.
He scattered a mountain of sweets from his scarlet sack, some of which I had never even seen in commercials before. Pierdio. This is your usual thing to say in Russian, okay? Don't make fun of Russian language. Actually, do make fun of Russian language. I wonder if, like, this, he said, like, not never seen in commercials. So is it, like, Milky Way and Snickers? Or something else? Or tangerines. Bubblegum of all shapes and colors with tasty aromas and inserts sticking out. Lollipops, size of a fist, and tangerines the size of Olia's head. Oh, I thought it's like a pomelo. And a banana. Definitely the first thing I would grab would be a banana if I were a kid, right? And also Snickers, Mars, Bounty Bars, and Kinder Surprise eggs that we haven't eaten for so long already. Never mind, he reminds those, so I guess like other random ones.
Спасибо.
I wiped away the tears of joy with my sleeve when my inner voice persuaded me to get rid of all doubts. This is exactly what I wanted for my sister and myself. The true Neverland, without bullying and taboos. We're finally going to be happy. I love how he gets up and you see this coat is being torn. Like the one of a goat man! Grandpa Frost straightened up as he left his throne and threw his hands in the air over the trees. Animals that stood to his side also raised their paws. Their eyes sparkled brighter than precious gems. The wolf's maw was wet with saliva. This golden egg? No golden eggs! Animal kids rushed to devour candy one by one, pushing each other and growling. Their faces were smeared with something dark. Best reasons for kids playing TFT. TFT did not exist in those times, you know? Their faces were smeared with something dark. Olya grabbed the closest candy and tore off the wrapper. When I saw that, I felt a pendulum swing inside me. Fuck. I think we're going to refuse, guys. Our candy's human meat. I gripped Olya's wrist so hard that she squeaked either from pain or from surprise.
Не ешь.
Cautious whispers spread through the room. Ears twitched on the masks. Shadows slid from one place to another.
Что такое? Что случилось?
Ничего страшного. Просто Тоша верит в несуществующий диабет.
Расказни родителей. Разбудите меня, когда
Totally not awkward.
станет валять дурака.
Are the candies from human meat? I don't know. I'm not the one making them. Grandpa Frost leaned into me. He smelled of caramel and just a tiny bit of dampness.
Давайте не будем портить праздник, друзья. Сегодня каждый должен веселиться. Ешьте и пляшите.
What is Sigma move here? You're asking me which option is better? It depends if you want to have like a bad ending or a good ending. Which good ending is not like, you know, it's not going to solve all the issues. It's either you get rid of your humanity or you keep your humanity. Olya tried to pull her hand away, but I kept in my clutches. I looked at the sweets, then at the tall old man, and tried to focus on barely discernible stench coming from him. The stench of rot and decay masked with sugary aroma, the foul smell of a beast. It felt like I was finally able to shrug off some strong delusion. Fear, exhaustion, and coldness returned to me.
Спасибо, но мы сыты. И мы пойдем, наверное. Мама с папой переживают уже.
I dragged my sister toward the exit, but Alisa stood in our path. She had the china platter in her hands. For a brief moment, I imagined maggots crawling inside it, but as soon as my eyes darted toward the offering, I saw gummy worms instead of vomit in dusting, writhing ball of living ones.
Прошу, Антон. Мы же друзья, правда?
Good ending for whom? Well, it's for other kids. For other kids in this town. Yeah.
Мы даже больше, чем друзья. Вспомни, что я обещала. Никто не причинит тебе зла, пока я рядом. Ни тебе, ни Оле. Так что съешь, пожалуйста, всего одну. Съешь, а?
Антон, пусти! Ну пусти! Теперь и ты все мне запрещаешь, прям как мама!
Good ending for everyone? There's no such an ending. I don't think so. Olya convulsed hysterically, trying to free herself from my clutches.
Это неправильно. Все здесь какое-то неправильное.
Вот как? А ты не задумывался, что из неправильного тут только твое мировоззрение? Как ты думаешь, что делают те таблетки, которые ты глотаешь круглые сутки?
Interesting how she knows about the pills.
Они искажают реальность, путают мысли, уводят тебя со снежной тропинки.
So technically the pills that he's taking were supposed to help with that? With not seeing those things? But I don't know, we were taking them and we still see this shit. I looked at Alisa with suspicion, searching for a comeback, but I couldn't find one. I remembered Vova's bloody mitten and Semyon's severed finger inside a small plastic bag. All of that was just an illusion.
Кто вы?
А на кого мы похожи?
Like nightmares that ravaged my sick mind.
вас никто больше не накажет, не запрет в комнате, не бросит в одиночестве. Отныне никто не заставит вас делать то, что вам не хочется.
Откуда вы знаете, чего нам не хочется?
The old man rubbed Wolfie, who was munching loudly behind the ear.
Я знаю. Мне шепчут ветра и тени, холодные звезды и безграничные небеса. Они говорят, что дети не хотят взрослеть, превращаться в тех, кто живет запретами, угрозами, наказаниями.
His voice grew louder and louder with every word. Anti-furry pills? yeah, exactly. It's like, you don't want your kid to grow up to be a furry. Take those pills. While you're pregnant. And then when your kid grows up, you make him take those pills as well. Oh my god.
Ожиданием старости и смерти. Дети живут мечтами. О, я отлично знаю детские мечты о счастливой и беззаботной жизни. Той, в которой есть чудеса.
Also,
Дикая свобода.
I gotta say, like, the voice actors are doing such a great job. Like, genuinely, I don't know what you think about them, but, like, even now, like, the voice is so clear. It feels like out of a fairy tale, but very dark fairy tale. Which I love. I love when, like, fictional stories bring back those old folklore fairy tales that were, like, much creepier than what Disney did to them later on. It's fun. Where can I buy these? I have no fucking clue. Probably in Russia. It's your closest hint from this game, at least. His voice rang like a thunder. It made all hair on my head stand on end.
Все это будет вашим, стоит только захотеть.
My mom may have taken those, that's why I can't grow a beard. That is a possibility. Imagine what God's mom was taking if he cannot even grow hair on top of his head. And Harun was taking them with delay. That's why he's losing only now part of his... Okay, that's enough of... That's enough. Okay. I had my fun.
Стоит только попросить.
And then he whispered.
Стоит только согласиться.
Just look at her. She's fucking dragged. Olivia repeated after him like an echo, as if enchanted.
Да, моя
Maybe that's why they're... No, that wouldn't make sense. I don't think... Although, maybe it makes sense in a way. Like, you know, that's why they didn't want their Olia to leave the house, because she was not able to be taking pills because she's too young or something like that.
вкусить это.
The old man pointed toward the fox girl.
Прошу тебя, ради всех нас, ради меня, ради сестры. Зайчик, отведай хотя бы кусочек.
Look at her, like, she's desperate for us to do that. So I don't think Alyssa is, like, entirely... I think she's the one who has been, like, put into this whole scheme to do that. But she's not as willing as the rest.
И тогда ты все поймешь.
But we're not taking those. But I love this. Look at that. Except and everything will went in color. I love this so freaking much. We're refusing, guys. We're refusing. I want to see the story, how the story will go if we refuse. Because I know, like, when we accept, it's like kind of like half ending. I felt like chilling winds blew from the cavities of her eyes, from the dark holes of the other beasts and the towering old man's too. The owl's face twitched nervously. The wolf's maw dripped with saliva. The bear shuffled his feet and a trace of sleepiness gone from his face. And from behind us towered the one who pretended to be Grandpa Frost all this time.
Я сказал, мы уходим.
I gripped my sister's hand even tighter. Candy slipped out of her fingers and smacked against the floor. Alia started looking around, frightened.
Я сказал, мы уходим.
Alisa parted me, and despite everything, I felt immense anger.
Ну какой же ты все-таки дурачок.
I heard the flute's melody, but now it reminded me of a cracking whip or even agonized convulsion of a fish that was thrown out to the ice. Music dangled about, striking at my ears. And then the crystal castle was filled with cries of children that slowly turned into beastly howls, intermingled with the sounds of crunching bones and ripping skin. The china platter filled to the brim with maggots smashed into tiny pieces. Alisa's orange fur ripped at the seams, letting out a cloud of foul-smelling fog. Her twisted face bared its teeth and the stench attacked my nostrils again. The fox screamed, blood streaming down her cheeks like tears, making her fur sticky. Her bone-naked tail whipped against the walls with its vertebrae. I shielded my crying sister. Horror drilled into my stomach, rushed through my guts and rose up to my throat. I felt the urge to tear off my glasses and lose sight. I wanted to squeeze my eyes out and go blind forever. I turned to face the owl and my face contorted from disgust. Worms wriggled inside her mask feathers. Her rotten beak snapped like garden scissors. I staggered back and barely avoided bumping into the wolf. His face was stretching out, his bones crunched. Teeth poked out of his festering gums like shards of broken glass, and his swollen tongue kept on tirelessly licking them. At the ledge of my vision, I saw the bear block our passage. Every inch of his body oozed scarlet ichor. Larvae clogged his teary eyes. I pulled the shocked Olia close, looking for the exit in panic. My foot ended up in a pile of sweets, but those were no longer candy. Human remains blanketed on the floor. Ribs with shreds of meat on them and torn out jaws. A tooth necklace and moss-covered pelvic bones. Tiny skulls and scalps swimming in a sea of blood. The horned monstrosity towered over me, clutching a bone flute in its long clawed fingers. A giant goat that shed his kind old man form, completely black, emanating hatred and malice. He scorched me with red-hot coals inside his eye cavities. His horns scraped against the ceiling. Ice cracked and thawed, dripping down, forming muddy pools of water, bearing metal walls that were hidden underneath it. I realized that we were doomed inside this cramped womb of a dungeon, surrounded by howling beasts. All I could do was hug my sister even tighter, and watch how the circle around us shrunk, how ugly paws reached out to us from behind the veil of a bloody fog. The growling wolf's maw snapped like a bird trap, spluttering thick white foam towards us. But he was immediately pushed away by a rotting bird carcass. Man. Bro, that's... Ugh. Ugh. It felt like his face was about to tear apart, crack like an eggshell, letting out something even more sinister, nasty, scary. Gnarly owl claws grabbed at the grinning bear, sorry, stopping him from getting close. The crackling zoo formed a furball that started rolling in guts and thought fought. They howled, fought with each other, tore our scraps of fur and feathers, ready to rip each other apart like a pack of hungry dogs fighting for leftovers. I'm starting to think that divorcing parents may be a better alternative. You're saying? A sudden squeal of the flute pulled them apart as if someone tugged at their leashes. That's what I was saying about like the control. The flute feels like it's controlling them. The master of this pack charmed the monsters with his soul rending music, turning them into unmoving silent marionettes that faithfully waited his commands. The goat stopped nibbling on his shin-bone flute. Its devilish melody that sounded like a chorus of children being run over by a steamroller went silent for one last time. A chunk of raw human flesh plopped beside my shaking feet. Consumed by fear, I turned toward Olia. She lay by the wayside covered in pink snow, just like the Sleeping Beauty in that cartoon. She probably lost consciousness from this soul-rending spectacle. I wanted to wail, to go mad, to die quickly and painlessly right there and now. But alas, I couldn't. I was still inside this torture chamber, choosing between a gruesome end inside the monster's stomachs and cannibalism. Woolen meat grinders kept on staring at me with their greedy, infinitely hungry eyes, ready to gnaw at my bones before eventually eating them if I dared refuse their master's offer. But if I was to agree, I'm sure I would lose my free will, just like them. I'll turn into a perpetually hungry monster that dances to the tune of a bloodthirsty madman, and I'll surely lead Olia and all those who I hold dear to their deaths. My lips trembled and feeling of nausea turned my stomach inside out, but somehow I found strength to scream.
Никогда и ни за что! Я человек!
Good, Anton! Don't turn into a furry! Those words could be later used as my epitaph, but I knew that my remains were destined to never be found. My surroundings went dead silent. The horned shadow consumed us. Alisa rushed to the goat and stood between us, ridiculously tiny compared to the giant monster. Her tail dragged after her, leaving behind a scarlet trail. Fleas jumped around her back and the bones sticking out of it. Say whatever, but Alisa still keeps the promise to somehow protect us, which is interesting. How, I don't know, maybe she, to some extent, tries to fight back. Of course, this is not the best outcome. Flames inside his eye sockets stopped trembling. Still, dolls bared their teeth in anger.
Заткнитесь, пустомели! Разве вы не чуете? Разве вы не помните, когда он чуть не укусил Луну на снежной поляне?
Cannibals went silent, swallowing saliva in disappointment. Alisa in the meantime took a sharp turn and returned to the form of a cute child with a fox mask on that I met for the first time one January morning. She glided towards me, dissolving the horrors around us with the smell of tangerines, firecrackers, and magic. Her soft paws touched my cheeks, removed a sticky strand of hair from my forehead. Alisa embraced me and whispered in a sweet voice.
Ты хочешь спастись?
I stayed silent, gritting my teeth. I was afraid to look away, afraid that this fleeting illusion could be shattered.
Мой милый, скажи, ты
Tears sprayed from my eyes as I wept. I continued to sniffle and shake, grabbing at the hem of the fox girl's long coat.
Скажи громче, чтобы все слышали.
Delirious from sorrow, I screamed, my face awash with tears. My mouth was immediately filled with the metallic aftertaste of blood. She fooled us! The fox's black fingers kept pushing a chunk of human flesh deeper down my throat. I fell to my knees, coughing up blood, unable to vomit it out. Rotting carcasses of animals surrounded me once again. Boiling anger swallowed up my mind. Something foreign and primitive burst forth, pounced from inside me. This is our inner bunny acting up. The ominous owl jumped away in surprise, accompanied by the fox's crackling. My voice went out and then I bent in half. Vomit poured out of my mouth along with a part of the treat that I wasn't able to regurgitate. His finger poked me. I felt like a knife was lodged handle deep into my solar plexus. Alisa silently stepped into the shadows and the goat put his foul-smelling maw right into my face and roared. I mean, our parents kinda sucked, so... He knocked his hoof against the floor and I ran for my life, forgetting about everything else. I heard them scream at my back. We'll eat you up, alive! Shards of ice fell on my shoulders, dead rodents frozen inside them. I managed to break free to the place where pines moved their branches and showered me with snow like cooks sprinkling salt on porridge. The wind tore at my hair. I turned around and froze over. Oh, who could have thought? It was the black garage all along! Wow! The garage was disappearing right in front of me, dissolving in layers, becoming dim and then transparent before a gust of wind finally swept away the phantom of black walls. Only then I realized that I let go of my sister a long time ago and she was left behind in the monster's den. There was only a giant snow pile left in place of the castle. A girl's wrist poked out of it, like a cross would poke out of a burial mound. What the fuck, best igloo I've ever seen? Yeah, but it was like built around a building, so is it the best igloo if you have to have like basic structure for it? I don't know. Terrified, I rushed over to the snow pile and started digging. Olia's pale face along with one of her shoulders appeared from under the white mass. Her bluish lips trembled. She's alive. My throat went dry when I remembered that I shouted the same words to Katya before. I continued digging and prayed for her to hang on. At some point I was able to see her stomach. Her voice was faint.
Ничего. Отнесу тебя домой, согрею. Шоколадом напою. Ты только не засыпай, слышишь? Ты только...
My fingers came across something sticky and hot. I cleared out more snow. It turned red and mushy. I gulped. How could I tell her? Olia's body didn't exist below the stomach. Rings of guts fell out of the wound. Olia tilted her head and stared at the horrifying scraps. Then let out a deafening scream. I appreciated that they toned it down, okay? Very much appreciated. And that's everything for episode 4. That's it. That's everything we have for today, guys. How did you find it? Did you like it? I'm just sad. She didn't do anything wrong. That's true. Olivia is unfortunately one of those. So, no matter whether you choose Paulina's route or Alisa's route, if you don't eat flesh from the very beginning or at the second time, when it's offered as in the form of candy still, you cannot save her. You need to play Paulinka too. Yeah, but there are those events, and this event is also something that doesn't change no matter whether you choose Paulina or Alisa, from what I remember. So I'm pretty sure it's like from this point there are a few different outcomes, and like yeah, so this is one of the endings. What is the other ending? It's like this one is like Dr. Jekyll, I believe, achievement, and the other one is Mr. Hyde. So if we take the candies, basically, we see everything in color, everyone is happy, but then at the end, so it's kind of like I don't remember if it's like a closed ending or not, but it's like we see the board with missing children is like filled with all different kinds of papers with all different kinds of missing children. Actually, instead of like the pictures of missing children, there are pictures of game developers of this specific game, but you know what the concept is. And I think the only character, like the only child not dying is Paulina, I think. And this is the ending that we got, I believe, when we were playing it first. So I wonder where it goes. And I don't like how Biasha is child missing in here in the back. I don't like it. Our boy Biasha did not deserve that. We shouldn't. I feel like whether or not we would take him with us or not take him with us, he would still go missing. So, yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed once again. Well, I know it was like a very dreadful episode, but nevertheless. Next week we're going to finish it because like we cannot do it on Thursday as the episode will not be out yet. And I'm gone for the weekend, so that's why there is no possibility for us to play this earlier on an earlier stream. But don't worry, as soon as I'm back Monday, same hour as today, we're going to finish it with the last chapter. In the meantime, on Thursday, we'll have a stream from Uma Musume tier list, which should be prepared for. I think I'll check on Thursday morning, but everything should be fine. And then, yeah, there will possibly be some streams like on Wednesday maybe, or on tomorrow maybe, possibly as well. I don't know. Drawing streams where I will be drawing commissions, of course. Because like that's the only thing that I'm drawing, or thumbnails, because I think there's like one more thumbnail that I want to make, and then I'll be set for the rest of the streams for this year. I'm lying. I'm most definitely lying, because like after I come back from Christmas, when I come back home, I'll probably be streaming, so that's a lie. But before Christmas, I should be all set up. Something more that I wanted to say. Yeah, next week, once again, the finale of Tiny Bonnie. And on Thursday, we're going to do like doodling stream on paper. So yeah, this is already set in stone. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice week, and maybe possibly enjoy your free time that you do not spend here watching my streams. Of course, I always welcome you to my streams. So if you ever wonder if I'm going to stream tomorrow or the day after, well, it's always like a Russian roulette. You never know if I'll find the time to do that or not. So you know, around the 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Would be the latest I would start. Maybe 6 p.m. the latest. Other than that, like, if it's after that hour, do not expect any streams. So, thank you once again. See you. Bye-bye!